Hi there, I'm Michael Falk. I'm a lecturer in 18th century studies in the School of English at the University of Kent and an adjunct fellow in digital humanities at Western Sydney University in Australia. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about Kent's innovative assessments and the way that we have structured our English and creative writing degrees to maximise their value for you today in the 21st century, when digital technologies are increasingly transforming all aspects of our lives. This digital transformation is affecting English and creative writing as much as it's affecting everything else that's going on. Today, books are as likely to be published as websites or as ebooks as they are to appear in physical form. Writers are just as likely to use a computer program to generate their poetry as they are actually to write it with a pen on paper. And literary scholars spend hours using research databases or collecting data about the texts that they're studying and then analysing them using various new innovative computer techniques. I personally, as a digital humanist, use AI, natural language processing, network analysis, and other computational techniques in my own research to study the structure of literature and to see how it's changed over time. In this video, me and a few other colleagues from the School of English are going to talk about some of the different forms of innovative assessment that we use here at Kent as part of our English and creative writing degrees, so that you can get a sense of what it's like to study English in the digital age. To start off with an example from my own teaching, I teach a course called Hacking the Humanities, where students can learn to code in the programming language Python and to apply the skills they've learnt to things like generating random poetry or to statistically determine who wrote a text when the authorship is unknown. Students in the course learn the basic syntax of this programming language Python, and through a range of exercises, they become confident in using the programming language in different contexts. To assess how well they've used it, I ask them to do programming exercises where they receive essentially an interactive worksheet online with some text explaining what to do and some boxes where they can put in their own code, click it, press enter, and see if they've got the correct result. And students find these programming exercises a very easy introduction to programming because they're able to see the information about what to do and also have the opportunity to try it out all in the one spot, and they're able to experiment with their code, to try different code and see if it gets the right result.
Hello, my name's Lara Atkin and I'm a lecturer in Victorian Literature at the School of English, University of Kent. I'm here to tell you about learning journals, which we use on two of the modules I teach at third year, Dickens and Victorian England and the Brontes. So how does a learning journal differ from a conventional essay? Well, basically, as well as critical reflection on the texts you've read, their historical contexts, and the secondary reading you've encountered, a learning journal records your own personal learning journey. So, what you might want to include in the learning journal includes your own reflections on the texts, their resonances with contemporary contexts, and any adaptations of them you might have seen or heard about in popular culture. As well as scholarly writing, you can also include in your learning journal images, audio, and recordings of performances. They can be a really multimedia and critical and creative reflection on the texts, rather than just a piece of scholarly criticism.
Welcome to the book project. I am Simon Smith, the convener for this module, and I thought I'd offer you a few words about the course and its assessment. The book project is a Stage 3 creative writing option module, which comes at the end of your BA at Kent in the spring term. Many students see it as a way to realise their plans and dreams of a published book, the culmination of their studies at Kent. The book project offers you the opportunity to work up a creative writing piece from conception to completion. Literary history has a strong tradition of authors creating and publishing their own books. From William Blake and his relief-etched copper plates in the early 19th century through the innovations of the typewriter and photocopier, offset litho and letterpress, up to the current methods of production using the web, PDFs and print-on-demand technologies. You will start the module pitching your book project to the class and to your tutor. You then, through a series of workshops and seminars, write your creative piece. We then use up-to-date methods to print your books using print-on-demand technology. Print-on-demand, or POD, is a current digital tool used to create printed books. Using the software available from the company Blurb, you download your text into templates either already available off the peg from Blurb or designed by yourself. Your book can contain artwork and illustrations as well as text, and you have the option of full-colour cover art too. Once this process is complete and copies of the book have arrived, the term is rounded off with a publication event where all students launch their book with an audience of guests they have invited. The assessment falls into 3 parts. Coursework 1 is a portfolio of 12 to 15 poems or a prose work totalling at least 6,000 words for 70% of the mark. Coursework 2 is the work in print-on-demand format and accounts for 20% of the assessment. Coursework 3 is based on your seminar workshop performance at 10% of your final grade. We all have strong ideas for our books and how we would like to see them in the world. The book project is your chance to realise these possibilities as a reality at the end of your degree.
Hi there, my name is Ryan Perry. I'm a senior lecturer in the School of English and my specialism is in medieval literature. And I want to talk about EN 728, A Knight's Tale, in which we have several interesting modes of assessment. I'm going to talk about just one of those with you now. I'm going to bring up a document that you can look at while I'm telling you about this mode of assessment. And it's a presentation which may take the form of a live presentation or may be produced as a short film or audio production, and it represents a really substantial 35% of the total marks. This is delivered in week 8, so at a stage when students have got to know each other. It's about 2/3 the way through the course, and one of the things that students might do is do a collaborative project. This is really useful for them in terms of developing teamwork skills, but also it allows them potentially to do really more ambitious and complex projects. Naturally, one of the worries with a collaborative project might be that students are carrying one another, and the way in which we allow students to differentiate the work they put into a project is that they produce supporting materials that chronicle exactly their individual input into a project, and means actually students can be receive individual and separate marks for the same presentation. I think this is a great mode of assessment for developing public speaking skills, presentation skills, and for developing the confidence students have in their own voices. So hopefully that sounds like an interesting mode of assessment, and thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Hello, I'm Professor Vybarr Cregan-Reid, and I'm a professor in the School of English at the University of Kent. And I'm going to be telling you about a couple of the things that we do as assignments, not only in your first year, but actually throughout your degree. So I teach a first year module called Romantic Ecologies and the Modern Invention of Nature. And on that module, instead of writing traditional essays that you might expect to do at university, we get you to do things a little bit differently. So we do two things on that module. On romantic ecologies, we do a learning journal. And a learning journal is a little bit like an essay. The standards of work that you're required to produce for a learning journal are very similar to that of an essay. But learning journals are really good because they help you to reflect on actually what's happened to you since you started the module. So it's kind of a written record of how your learning has changed, and it really brings home the idea that these these learning experiences do change you. They change your ideas and they change the way that you see the world. And then the second mode of assessment that we use on the module is a short documentary. You're required to produce a documentary of about 6 to 8 minutes in length. You'll get lots of support and advice on exactly how to do this. But at the end, you'll end up with a short YouTube film that's about an environmental issue and a work of literature. And it's going to be something that's unique to you. The project will be yours. You'll come up with it on the module, and then and at the end you'll have a whole new set of skills that you didn't know you had beforehand. And really, what's going to be happening throughout your degree is that you're going to be repeatedly coming across these kinds of these different modes of assessment, and what they do is they give you a whole variety of skills, so that by the time you get to the third year and by the time you'll be doing your own project work, you've got a whole array of possibilities in front of you, so you can choose to do lots and lots of different kinds of things. And also, these skills are all about employability. You're going to be leaving your degree with just more skills to take to an employer, as well as this nice project work to show them what it is that you're capable of. So I'm Vybarr Cregan-Reid. The module I was talking to you about is called Romantic Ecologies, and I hope to see you soon.
In the School of English at Kent, we offer you the chance to make your future. To make your future by acquiring the skills that you will need to tackle life in the 21st century. To make your future by making things like documentaries or computer programs or essays or poems that you can take with you beyond Kent and use in whatever way you see fit. And to make your future by imagining new kinds of future that you might want to occupy. Because ultimately, it's you who will determine what the future of the United Kingdom is, you who will determine what the future of the world is. And we would love to invite you to Kent to give you the chance to make your future with us.